What am I supposed to do about this? That's a big fucking lizard. What kind of lizard are you? You're a baby blue tongue lizard. That's kind of cool, I guess. You you don't want to go this way. No, you're all amongst it now. Go somewhere else. Go another way. Fuck you, do pal. No, 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 no! Other way. You dog. You went behind the door. Yep, that's it. They need to go. No, just go. I'm trying to help you. So that was a fun video of a blue tongue lizard that got a little stuck in our storage space in our house, huh? Wasn't it? Yeah, it is a bit of a mess down there, except for my little corner where my workstation is set up. I opened with that clip because it was actually a giant elaborate ruse, because I kind of wanted to make it known that these videos are usually more than just me sitting down at my desk rambling at a camera, which, fair warning, happens in this video for quite a bit. There's a lot of things I feel I need to establish before I can settle into the rhythm of daily vlogging, and it's going to require a lot of conversation to convey it all. But I tried my best to keep it entertaining. While editing this video, I grew super conscious of just how much talking I was doing, so I've injected a little intermission in the middle where I go over some of the digital art that I'm working on at the moment. Then it goes back to me talking for a little while. I cycle into the city, I do some work in a nice little spot with a nice little view, and then I catch my brother's band's gig, which is on later tonight. There's gonna be a lot of that. If you're seeing this, that means there are some forms of congratulations in order. Not just for you for managing to find this video, but for me, because I've tried to make this video a great number of times. Every time it's taken on a very different form and the content has changed greatly, but what this video is, and the problem with it, is that there's a threshold that I haven't been able to cross. This is the first video in what is hopefully going to be a series of videos, of vlogs, documenting my life in ways that are, it's raw, it's real. I'm going to be really communicating the nitty-gritty of who I am, where I am, what I'm doing, what I'm about, and what is happening. As I said, I've tried to make this video a number of times. I think one of the things I really greatly struggled with was quality. Quality control, scope creep. I wanted to do things really well, and that's really prevented me from actually just doing things at all, or at least finishing things. I do a lot of stuff, but me finishing things is definitely something that I'm struggling with, and that's one of the things that I hope this documenting this kind of stuff can help me sort of overcome. So a little bit about myself. I'm not going to pretend that I've sort of slowly edged myself into a bit of a rut in life. Basically, this whole like not finishing things has applied to more than just vlog series. It's like freelance work and uni assignments and job applications and paperwork and so many things that have been quite pivotal in like the trajectory of one's life, one's health, one's accomplishment. And so basically I'm trying my best to lower the bar. I'll try and do what I can to make sure that it's still a bearable experience for anyone that's watching these videos. You know, I'll dress up for an occasion. I'll try and not make it completely shit, but also I can't let myself be burdened by trying to make everything perfect. This rut that I'm in, it permeates pretty much my entire existence. But I don't want to make it seem like it's all bad. Things are on the up and up. There are opportunities that are becoming available to me now, and basically it's like I haven't been doing nothing with my life. I've been working really hard on developing skills and trying to be a better person and honing my values and my purpose and who I want to be, and that's always going to be an ongoing journey, but I have always been actively on it. I've always been trying to learn new things. Those efforts haven't gone unnoticed or unwarranted. There are opportunities and things beginning to happen now that I have been slowly trying to edge towards for a long time, and life is now, and it's happening, and shit is real, and basically I want to take, at the very least, footage of those events. I don't know if anyone's ever going to watch these. So I've got a few ongoing efforts, a few ongoing projects, objectives, all these different kind of labels to apply to intent, I guess. I have a lot of intent for things that I want to do and how I want to spend my time and what I want to accomplish. I think it's going to be important for me to capture everything starting pretty much now, because as well as the audience and as well as the accountability and all that shit, I know there's going to be a need for transparency about why I'm doing some of these things and who I am and what I struggle with and where I'm at with things. So far, mostly what you can gather is that I'm like a dude that could be looking after himself a bit better, that's like dressed up for some reason while presenting himself in front of a derelict environment that looks run down and shoddy as hell. It's very symbolic. I'll need to like get through all the other things. You know, like who, what, when, where. I'm in Brisbane. Who? It's me. I'm Rion. So I kind of need to explain who I am for the people that are coming to this video that don't know that, which should be most of you, because I'm not going to be sharing this video with anyone that knows me, because there is an element of me making all these promises about all this shit I want to create and then never being able to fucking finish it, and then people, you know, I ruin my own reputation by telling people what I hope to accomplish and then not being able to do it in like some projected time frame that they decide for themselves. There's also an element of like, I have my own expectations of when I could accomplish things by that I have struggled with myself, and sometimes I will communicate that, and it's kind of that whole over-promise, under-deliver. No! Well, that is actually the problem. What I should be doing is the opposite. Oh. So who am I? You don't need to know most of the details at this point. I'll reveal things over time. I'm a person. I'm pretty open about who I am and what I'm doing and what I'm struggling with. I'll wear my entire identity on my sleeve. I have no real qualms in being open. I think that's made obvious already by just the condition of the background. These boxes over here and stuff. Also, actually, now what's going on with this mattress against the window? I think it actually, if you think about it, it answers its own question. It's there to block the intense light that comes in through that window. I've got a screen right behind this camera and it's glossy, and so if that mattress isn't there, I just can't see the screen. I'm not going to take that mattress down just so that the background is less gross. I'm supposed to be doing what's real here. This is capturing real life and not some kind of curated version of who I am and what I'm dealing with. Though that said, I can't capture things that overlap on other people's realness, you know? Do people have the right to curate their identity online? If the answer is yes, then I have no right to impose my attempts to not curate my identity online on other people. A link in the description, there's a video by Hank Green that sort of explains the whole fear of being seen badly by other people, and how it's like a very real thing that people experience, and there's reasons why. And the internet is that times 3 billion. Not that I'm assuming that all those people will be watching these videos. So it's raw, it's real. I still haven't explained the raw, real me that I'm gonna be exposing. These beads are so noisy. Okay, there's a saw going now. There's gonna always be a lot of fucking background noise. This whole like just do it, not perfect kind of thing is gonna be like my main struggle is noise pollution, especially given that I live across the road from a train line that insists on sending 2 coal trains through every hour. Every hour. Every hour. Except Saturday. It's not a coal train, it's just a passenger train. It's one of the public transport electric trains. The coal trains, you would know it if it was a coal train. No, wait, the one's coming right now. Oh my god. I can't believe the timing of that. I've closed half the windows that face that way, so it's not as bad as it would have been a few minutes ago. But now there's a saw going on over here. So there's background noise. There's background noise, and I should wait until the train goes. So other than the raw background noise that will insist at all points, I was going to try and expose my raw self in ways because I want to be doing certain things. I have plans and things I want to accomplish, and for that I need you to know why. There's another train. These are gonna include life lessons and shit that I am always learning. I feel like I am on several back feet. I know that metaphor doesn't really make sense visually. Back feet. I'm seriously a few steps behind in some really important life lessons. I've become aware of what some of those life lessons are, but there is a very big difference between being aware of what a life lesson is and actually fucking learning it. I think it's important to talk about these things. There's so many things that like I would have been such a better person, so much further on my journey, if someone had told me some of these things just like a decade ago. It could be valuable to you, it could be valuable to anyone. But basically, I suck as a person. I'm pretty good at ideas, I'm pretty good at creativity and shit like that. That's pretty much my jam, but I suck as a person. So I'm trying to be a better person. And now it's time for that exciting intermission where we take a step back and just take a little bit of a break from my face and, well, I was gonna say my voice just then, but you are unfortunately still hearing that. We've been looking at my face for pretty much 10 minutes straight, except for that fun little gag about Brisbane. So I'm not even gonna record the things that I'm working on, as well as the videos that I'm editing, including this one while it's happening right now. Look, this is the part right now where I've filmed me recording this and it's already in there. So I thought we'd sit down and we'd have a look at some of the things that I got going on. So the thing I probably definitely need to mention right now is the opportunity that I have. I get to start working on the things that I've been envisioning all this time. And of the long list of things that I see as important, the dominoes, if you will. I'm not sure if I've explained the dominoes thing yet. If I haven't said anything about dominoes yet, I'll say it later. Good, Better, Best is a podcast series that I'm going to be working on over the next a little bit less than 3 months. At least the first season will be the next 3 months. The format of this podcast isn't like the sit down and chats. It's kind of like an audio documentary where I'm going to be exploring the questions of what is modern goodness, what is modern accomplishment. I'm going to be meeting with professionals, thought leaders, really trying to gather a foundation of contrasting views and opinions to start moving towards the formulation of a packaged education program. This is going to be what I'm about for the next little while, while also trying to fit in, you know, this and that and everything else. But like, this is the priority. This vlog is going to be about making sure I'm doing it. This ended up being the final poster for the event that my brother's band has on tonight. It was sort of a thing where with each development I'd just add more things to it. So it sort of grew with the event. I started to put pictures of surfboards into this one on the accordion, but didn't finish that, so there's just like a weirdly... You'll be seeing more of this gig later in the video. This podcast series thing, Good, Better, Best, is taking a little while to find its feet. While that's been happening, Newgrounds, if you're familiar with it, had its sort of like self-themed day last week, and I had been making this for that. I didn't get to finish it in time. At this point, that shouldn't be a surprise. These are just the assets. You can see it's like, not these parts here aren't really. Here's another background. This one isn't as finished. I'm starting to get quite adept at landscapes, so I kind of lean heavily on that skill set. This is supposed to be like a cloak, and when it's animated, these parts are going to be curved around and furling a little bit. But, and also I was going to draw it a bit nicer. This is just a draft. But at the moment, it looks kind of, I don't know, kind of rude, I guess. I'm not projecting some kind of phallic interpretation. I'm always trying to get better at Photoshop. I feel like I'm constantly realizing the capacity of the tools that I've always been familiar with. With this project, I really nailed patterns. There's no real demonstration of that in this particular example. But another thing while I was working on it was also realizing that, like, do you ever see dead leaves in cartoon environments? Like, go outside. Dead leaves. They're everywhere. But I don't think I've ever seen a cartoon with dead leaves in it before. So like, talk about innovation, wow! So this is the second landscape I drew. The first one I showed you was the first one, and the second one I showed you was the third one, just to make it as confusing as possible. But you can see that this is sort of the same place, but just from a different angle, or at least I'm trying to make that known, where there's this crater here by the city. And you're looking out over these two mountains, down this big hill, and over here is where this character heads. This is like the first shot. Character heads up here towards this way, and then later on they're in this. I don't know, man. I just like having that kind of spatial landscape in the environment. I've never had that before, so like this is another way in which I've leveled up in the past few weeks. There's always going to be a thing that I've leveled up at. If I stop leveling up, I've died. He's dying! There's another shot, or a partial shot. I haven't quite finished it. Drawn how I want the colors done on this guy. I have not made any attempts with these people, obviously. I've started to put the beer bottles everywhere. This is for Newgrounds, for a Newgrounds themed thing. So I'm slowly getting all these Newgrounds references in, even like on the beer bottle labels.
Hey Joey, how's it going? Not bad.
I also want to do this thing. In After Effects, it should be quite easy, where when the sunlight's coming through a bottle that has liquid in it, it has that like light thing that shoots off through the liquid and out the other side, just on the surface behind it. I can do it. I just have to do it once, then I can copy it. It'll be easy. It won't take me that much time, I swear. It's one of those things where it's like getting lost in the details is where I get lost completely. Oh, you can see the demonstration of the textures and patterns here now. Like, I've always been good at textures, but the application of textures through patterns somehow eluded me. And now I can just like paint. I should demonstrate. Look at that. Look at that that's the damn brick wall just there. Whew. So basically I worked out how to do that with pretty much anything. Wood. Wood. That's the wood from there. But also like the different lighting techniques on the same patterns as well. Look at that. Genuinely, like, I've been using Photoshop for years and somehow this eluded me. So that's a quality one to have picked up to realize. I tried to do this project as like a quick, snappy, I only gave myself like 5 days. I did all this in 5 days. And also the rigging and stuff of the characters. I'll show you some of the pieces. So I was building up the characters. Oh, this reveals what it's for. It's supposed to be a surprise. So, okay, so for those that aren't in the know, there's a series on Newgrounds. Okay, so firstly, Newgrounds. This is more than I wanted to go into right now. This video is already so long. Okay, this is when I learned of it. when I started using Newgrounds, it would have been around... this is how I remember it. Oh my god, these pancakes are tiny.
This is ridiculous. These are tiny.
Dude, I remember watching all of these animations. So for those of you that don't know, Newgrounds, everything by everyone, a content portal where creators could upload things, and if they were of good quality, they would actually like rise to the top. It had an induction process. Things got voted on, and this was the intake process, these purple ones, and if it was good, it'd be green. If it was great, it'd be blue. And if it was exceptionally great, it would often get put on the front page, which is how we have, this is the featured part here. Newgrounds was a crucial part in my developing passion for pursuing these creative things. Newgrounds was composed entirely of people just making stuff for the internet. They weren't limited by their jobs. They weren't doing it for careers. They were doing it because they loved it. That was truly inspiring. So we have the best of the week. These pancakes are tiny.
They're tiny.
That's a great animation. I'm going to link that in the description actually. So we have here Tankmen 2, Tankmen, Tankmen 5, Tankmen 1.5. They were all 4 of them, and there's only 4 of them, were at one point in the top 20 of all of the animations on Newgrounds. Also Tankman Infinity, which is a fan-made one. I'm making a Tankman animation for Newgrounds. The creator, his name's Jeff, but he goes by the username of Johnny Utah. He was actually kind of on board to do the voices and stuff, but when I didn't make that due date, I told him like it wasn't as urgent now, and he was cool about it. Hopefully he'll still be happy to do some voices for it, but time will tell. This is me trying to work out how to do the last character design. These pieces are interesting. Basically, I'm trying to create 2D pieces that I know I'm going to be applying into a 3D environment. So like this is actually going to like wrap around the cheeks of the face. So like this is actually getting close to his ears. That'll be like on the side of his head. And like the nose is a separate layer because it's going to be like curving out. These are the like knee pad leg things. And the reason they're flat is because I'm going to like cut them into segments and then fold them in a 3D space so that they wrap around. They give the illusion of wrapping around what will be a 2D object. And then I can just rotate these pieces and give the illusion of depth. This looks weird as well. It's the same thing where his forehead isn't going to be that bulbous. It's just because it's taking into account the curve of the shape of the head. It's a wrap. It's a texture wrap kind of. This is my reference. Okay, let's take a moment right now. I know we're already taking a moment from the other moments, but reference. If you want to be an artist that does good things, the masters of the world painted bowls of fruit that were in their room. You know? You need to know what you're drawing, and until you've drawn that same thing like 100 times, you will never know what it actually looks like in your mind. You could get proportions wrong, textures are weird, lighting, atmosphere. Atmosphere is a big one actually. So if you ever want to do digital painting and stuff like that, find pictures, make a mood board of how you want it to look, and then just use that as a point of reference. I love this picture. With this animation, there's going to be like a big reveal that it's Tankmen. It's going to be on like the DL. It's a surprise. The artistic style of Tankmen, it's not on the same level of detail. It's quite cartoony. Comparing this to this, you know, this is that character there. When it has that reveal, it's supposed to be that Frisian moment where you're just like, oh my god! So there's an element of wanting to hide what this is through detail, essentially. Go over the top in the detail so that people don't realize that it is this until it's like just thrown in their face. I really like this. I'm just gonna put that right here, right on the fridge. Oh.
That way we'll get to see it every day.
Yeah. So I'm excited about this animation. I want to keep working on it until this podcast thing gets off the ground, because I know if I stop working on this, I'll never get it finished. And I already asked Jeff, the dude that made the original series, if he could do the voices, and I don't want to like ask him and then not follow through. So I kind of want to get it done. So there's a lot of things that you can't say about yourself openly, you know? I could say like, I'm a funny dude, but that's entirely your own opinion of that, and, you know, I would only say I'm like a semi-funny dude half the time, maybe a little bit. So basically I'm gonna try and explain who I am right now, just to give you an idea by explaining some of the things that I can do, some of my skills, what I'm trying to accomplish and shit. I am a storyteller. I am a creator of things. So far not children, which is good. I studied film, I studied radio, I studied script writing, I studied animation. I never finished any of those courses that I was studying because of the previously mentioned problems, but I did learn the skills. Who I am and what has been the most crucial change in the trajectory of my life and how I'm here not doing animation and film like I originally intended is about 5 years ago. It was kind of like an epiphany. It was kind of an insight. It was kind of a realization. This isn't an original sentiment. I want to know when I reach the end of my life that everything was better because I was here and not worse. In that way, it is selfish. You know, that's a very selfish thing, but it's my life and that's my objective. But the thing about having your own objectives that are intrinsically a selfish thing to have, you know, you want to do something, that's a selfish thing, is that you can align your selfishness with selfless objectives. And in that way, you can be doing things that are both selfless and selfish. And it was that realization and that realignment that really put a fork in the road for me. I decided that I didn't want things to be worse because I existed. And unfortunately, life at the moment insists. If you live a life that is privileged from any kind of development, which is almost guaranteed given you're watching this video, the world is worse because you're here. Full stop. That is the case. The clothes you're wearing, the cars you drive, the house you're in, the food you eat, everything that facilitates your life is at the detriment to everything else. And that is, how does that not destroy you? It destroys me. Our comfort is stolen from tomorrow. That is not how I want existence to be. But unfortunately, everything's been built up in a way that you cannot exist and have the power to change anything from outside of the destruction that we cause. So I'm going to try and change that, or at least provide a path for those that wish to live in ways that aren't detrimental to the existence of literally everything else on this planet. I'm going to do everything with what I can to make it so that things won't worse because I'm here. And that is at its core why I'm doing everything that I'm going to be doing. Unfortunately, my skill sets aren't really like, you know what would be a great skill sets and mindsets and abilities and capacities to have going into this kind of objective? Some kind of like leadership and, you know, like accounting and economics and political know-how. And it's amazing how much of the current structures are really tailored towards a certain kind of intelligence. You know, there's all these different kinds of intelligences. There's, you know, like there's people that are good with numbers, people that have great physical knowledge. There's people that are creative, such as myself. There's people that are emotionally in tune, logical thinking, gardening. There's all these different ways that different people have their own form of smarts. But we only really grade one. And so there's only really one kind of like, these are smart people, the rest of everyone else are idiots. Whereas they're actually smart, but in their own ways. And it's those people that benefit from the way things are. And by God, everything would be easier for me if I was smart in those ways. And I think I could be, but it's not something that I've honed within myself. I'm really passionate about creating things, creating stories and art and movies, and it's why I'm here. I don't know, we all have our own reasons, and for like maybe 1/8 of the population, that's why they're here. They're here because they are creatively intelligent and they draw energy and find accomplishment in creating things. And I'm one of those people. And so I'm going to create a pathway for the people that want to do better. And there's going to be times where how I execute the creation of this pathway may seem like it has no relevance, but I have this like, I don't want to say it's a plan, but I can see the stepping stones. I can always see, actually stepping stones is probably the wrong word. I can see dominoes. I can see, basically I've got like this big domino that's like, hey, if you do this, all these huge problems will be solved, but you can't just knock over the biggest domino. You place smaller and smaller dominoes down all these different paths. And like, I just need like, at this point, I've like worked out smaller and teeny tiny dominoes until like, I just need to like set something in motion and I could get there. And so I'm going to be trying to do that. One of the things I know I need to do that will enable me to better do all these things is to start building an online community, or real life community that connects through online. It's probably a better way to describe it. It doesn't have to be around me, but there needs to be a movement of people that are trying to accomplish this same thing. And while it doesn't have to be me that's like the face of it all, I know that I could do it, and it could be me. And that the idea that I have for how we could effectively turn this ship around so that we aren't destroying everything, it's a viable solution. It is not the solution, but it is a solution, and I'm going to do everything that I can within my power to try and make that solution a reality, unless or until someone else does it. So yeah, I did a really bad job of explaining who I am. I don't think you know much more about me other than like, hey, I don't want to be a bad person, which, you know, hopefully most people feel that way. I've already established that I do film, and I can do radio stuff, and I can do animation stuff, motion graphics, digital art, voice acting, singing, normal acting, I guess. Writing, I don't know, lots of writing, and also riding bicycle, but that's, you don't really create writing. I mean, like, I guess you do, but also, what else can I do? Over the past decade, flitting between all these different creative projects that take up different mediums, it's always given me a reason to improve at something. And so now I'm at like the end of this sort of window of time that I really hope is coming to a close. And I'm actually really good at a lot of different things. What's the polymath? I'm a polymath at like creativity and storytelling. Music production and audio engineering. You're like, but wait a minute, did you say voice acting? And I'm like, yeah man, I got the voice acting. And you're like, well, that's not really a voice. You're just like putting a weird like, on a, like a bit of like a zing.
This summer, follow the horrifying tale of a monster with fur covered red in the blood of its victims.
Hi, I'm Elmo.
You can do an Elmo, okay? See like the face. Normally when you do voice acting, you can't see the grill. When you're an animator and you don't have the clout to like get a good voice actor, you're gonna do your own thing. But also like I've always been good at voice acting stuff. What am I trying to prove here? I'm trying to spice it up. I know this has been just a lot of me just rambling. Tonight my brother's band has an event on that I helped organize, and I have to kind of get going soon. So let's think about, you blink so fast, yeah. That's so weird. If you blink really fast, you see your closed eyes instead of your open eyes because of the slight lag. So yeah, that's me. That's a little insight into who I am. Just to open the vlog, I have like legitimately, I've got so much footage of me thinking I'm starting this vlog. I've captured so many things, so many events. The problem with all those previous attempts is the bar. Setting the bar really high, and that being inevitably detrimental to what I'm trying to accomplish. So we're lowering this bar. I did dress up. I know I undid the tie a little bit because I like being able to breathe properly. And in that moment, the quality of this vlog surely dropped like 50%. In this rawness that is this vlog, I hope to keep you engaged, not through the visual quality, but through the quality of events and discussion and the, you know, like, me, you know, I want to be able to be a person enough for you that you know what I'm about and what I'm doing. I need you to know that what I'm going to be trying to do is real. And while it does line up with my selfish intent of not wanting to be a shit person by the time I die, I just, like, I need you to know that I'm just trying to be good, and that I can really benefit from your help moving forward, initially just by being a part of this journey, but in the future, if you can help in any other way, and you'll understand when that time comes how you can help. There will be opportunities for your input. There will be places for your voice. There will be room made for your skills. In those moments, I will put the call out, or someone else will put the call out. It's not going to just be me, I hope. But I'm going to put the call out, and you will know in that moment when it's your turn. And if you are someone that wants to make the world a better place, our values are aligned, our objectives have synergy. With your help, we could do it. With your help, I think we may not save the world, but it'll be nice to try.
I've made it into the city. The cycling in a suit. It's hot sweat here. But today's like the first day that it's like cool enough to not have to resort to shorts, which might be why I've decided to film today. I picked quite a nice spot to just sit down and do some work for a while. The sun is setting over the city right behind me. Apparently the whole raw events and real things happening is gonna be very real straight out of the gate. Tonight at this gig, my mother's gonna be there, and I haven't talked to her in like 5 years by choice because I don't like talking to her. So this is gonna be interesting, I guess. I don't know how much of that I'll film.
Thank you. We are Mantis Empire. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jumbo Dragon. Fuck yeah! Thank you, Mantis Empire. We are the Pancakes. The next song is Do What I Want.
Wait, so this is kind of funny, right? So we never write. Oh, can we take an easy go? That'd be real nice. We never write set lists. And Jake was like, let's prepare, let's write a set list. And then he was like, let's not play the first song. Yeah, good one. Yeah. This is like, just dance. It's alright. Casper doesn't actually know anymore, so this is older brother. Alright. Cool. This is Olden Bold. Olden Bold. Thanks for coming to the party. About my dad. He's alright.
What's his one?
You gotta cue me in, Cacklots.
Old and bold.
I have it. Today, actually.